Hey guys, welcome back.
Welcome back to Inspired Delusions.
And if you're new here, my name is Kayma.
And I'm Olivia.
And we are your delusional besties.
Hey besties.
How are you guys?
We hope you're good. Also, I'm back to Olivia. I had a couple people call me Olivia Rose. I was like, actually, you know what? I don't like that. Yeah. I'm just kidding. I literally like all names. But like even my mom was like, hey, Olivia Rose. I was like, no. You don't have to call me Olivia Rose. You can call me Olivia. This is a season of changing your identity at any moment because you can.
No, you also have to test it out.
Yeah.
Like you have to be like, do you even like that or not like that? But
exactly.
Olivia is perfect.
Yeah.
And your alter ego can just be you because you're perfect.
Yeah.
And you step into it and you stand up.
Exactly. We're stepping into it. We're deciding. We are embodying whatever version of us we want to.
Mm-hmm.
And that is also the kind of the theme of today's episode as well.
Yeah. Last week's episode, filming it was so funny, you guys. And putting it out, we were kind of like, well, fuck it. Like, I feel like there's certain episodes that were like, oh, the audience is really going to appreciate this and gain a lot of knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's certain
those are the ones that flop. Just kidding. None of them flop.
No, not flop. And then there's episodes where Olivia and I feel like we're being super silly and we're like, this episode is for us.
Yeah.
And then that was what last week's episode was. And it ended up, it's one of our best.
Yeah.
It's already one of our best. It's so well received. We've gotten so many comments and DMs from you guys saying that you're obsessed with it. And you also feel like you're shedding the old versions of you.
Yeah.
A few of our community members also said it really resonated with them. Yeah. So
you're welcome. Yeah. You're welcome, you guys. So we're being silly goofy today again, too.
We're just leaning into authenticity and the idea that we know what we know, and we are so excited to share it. And if it resonates, cool. And if it doesn't, that's okay too.
Yeah, exactly. And heavy on the authenticity. You guys, we've talked about this before, but authenticity is one of the highest, if not the highest vibration that you can like resonate at, as being authentic. And sometimes that feels weird. Sometimes that feels a little freaky. But being authentic really does help you find your people. And coming from someone who used to be very inauthentic, very scared to show my true self, very scared to open up to people, as I have opened up more and become more of my, shown people really like how amazing I am. It's been more and more and more well received. So, and that actually goes to a point where I did write down I want to talk about today, which is haters are AI. So this is something that I had this realization the other day because I made a tweet about, standing up for Palestine essentially. And some bot, literally it had to be a bot, it was like, oh, I don't care about Palestine. And I was like, well, you're fake. Like any person online who is trying to give you hate or trying to, piss people off, I'm assuming that they're fake. I'm literally like, that's a bot, like that's AI. And with the rise of AI these days, it literally could be.
It could be.
So that's what I'm just assuming. Like any hater, any weird comment, you're not a real person. You actually aren't a real person. Like, because no real people would be that mean or that lack,
like hateful.
Yeah.
Or not empathetic.
Yeah. Exactly. So this is your sign, you guys. If you are posting on social media, if you're putting yourself out there, whatever, and you're getting any type of weirdness or weird comments, just say they're fake. Like, that's actually not a real person. That's delusional, you guys. Like, it's in my mind. It's my reality. I can decide what's real or not.
You know what? Period. You can decide what's real or not. But also going back to authenticity, this week, Haley Hoffman-Smith was in town for her book tour.
Yes.
And so Olivia and I stopped in, and it was so sweet. She did such a good job. But she got this question, what makes a writer fill in the blank? And she was like, this sounds so stupid, but being a writer is what makes you a writer. Yeah. And that I needed that reminder because I know in earlier episodes, I would say, okay, well, I want to be a podcaster. So if I'm doing a podcast, I'm a podcaster. And I think I forgot that notion, and I'm bringing that back to do what you want. And when you're doing it, that's who you are.
Yeah, that's you are.
You
that person.
are, right. So if you're wanting to do anything, if you're wanting to be anything, if you want to be more authentic, more in line and resonating with your true self, start doing the thing, and then therefore you are.
Yeah, that was a really good question. She also used the example because she also sings, and she would always have people come up to her and be like, I really want to start. I really want to be a singer. Like, I really want to start. And she's like, babe, if you write a song and you start singing, you're a singer. Like if you can just start doing the thing that you want to do, and you don't have to wait until you have accolades or wait till you have a certification or wait or whatever to call yourself that.
Right. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just an act of doing something that you are something. And then eventually, I mean, you might get the accolades, you might get the outside validation, but it's all about what brings you joy internally.
I felt that way before I started coaching. I was like, well, I'm not a coach yet. Like I'm too scared. I don't know if I'm a good coach or whatever. But then I just started coaching, and I was like, or honestly, I started identifying as a coach first, and then I started coaching people and became an amazing coach.
Yeah. I think that also really resonated with me with the whole podcast episode last week where I was like, oh, it's just for us. We're going to have fun. It's silly, goofy. Whoever gets it, and whoever doesn't. And then it ended up a lot of people got it, right? And Haley was kind of touching on this also, where she's like, if you have something to say, you have to put it out there. If you have art that you want to show, you have to put it out there because it really might help people. And then the next time that you do something similar, you're like, you kind of hold the intention, like, I hope you get to see this again. I hope this resonates with you. I hope this helps you a little bit. And I was like, oh, that's so beautifully said. I want to be that person. I want to get on our podcast and say whatever I want to say, being authentic to myself, not having a fear of judgment, not worrying if it comes across a certain way or not, and just speaking my truth, and then it like resonates with the people it's meant to be with.
Exactly. Resonates with the people it's meant to, and not overthinking it, putting it out there, and heavy on the if it helps one person, or if like one person gives you like a nice comment or says something or even gives you a like or whatever. These are just examples. Noting that, and so you can remember that it actually was helpful for people, and that kind of goes with this idea of like a hype me up note. And this is separate from needing validation per se. You don't need validation from other people, but I'm just trying to make the point that our brains will naturally remember the negative things more than the positive things. So this is really, really, really important as you are continuing to level up your mindset and level up your self-concept. You have to remind yourself over and over again of the good moments, of the nice comments, of the wins, of your wins. You have to remind yourself, because from an evolutionary standpoint, we've talked about this before, our brain evolved and our body evolved to stay alive, and it evolved to keep us away from danger and thinking that change or bad things essentially means death, right? So it's like if you get a mean comment on social media, for example, I think that's relevant, your brain's going to be like, oh shit, people don't like me. Oh, this is rejection. And it's going to hyper focus on that, even if you got 10 nice comments. So it's just, this is a reminder to make a hype me up note or make a hype me up album. This is something that me and Kayma do constantly. And we look at it constantly because we are getting so many nice comments and so many nice messages and things like that. And we have to remind ourselves, because even us, we'll get a nice comment, we'll look at it, we'll giggle, we'll kick our feet a little bit, and then if we didn't write it down, if we didn't make a note of that, we probably would forget it.
Yeah. No, our brains are silly
They're
beings.
silly, but they're so helpful if you are able to,
like reroute it,
rewire it to be aligned with what you actually want. It's so helpful. You can manifest anything, and you can change your mindset to be aligned with what you actually want it to do.
Yeah. I agree. That was nicely said.
Yeah, thank you.
Also, guys, guess who we interviewed on Wednesday? You won't believe it. You couldn't guess. You couldn't guess even if you wanted to.
You couldn't even guess, you guys. This Inspired Delusions is growing so quickly. Yeah. We are having stars being interviewed on our podcast. But yeah, Tap Daddy Brad Yates was on our podcast, you guys. We interviewed him this week. And
you guys, I've said it before and I will say it again, and I definitely told him in that episode, that is one of the most gentlest human beings I've ever met.
Sweetest.
He is so sweet, so patient, so kind. He's really like, he has such a gift. The way he can communicate and express himself and give other people through EFT tapping the confidence to remove all the negative shadows or the limiting beliefs that they have about themselves, and then continue to just be the stars that they are. Yeah, he's gifted. I love him. I really am so obsessed with him, and I'm so proud of Olivia and I, because that was kind of a random, we kind of manifested that randomly.
Totally.
Because we definitely joked about him coming on the podcast. We have a list of people that we always like frequently say are coming on the podcast.
Yeah.
And yeah, he just randomly DM'd, or he randomly commented on one of Olivia's TikToks about him because somebody saw it and sent it to his daughter. So it wasn't even something that we were actively like trying to pursue, but it all aligned. And then him coming on, that was the best interview we've ever done.
Yeah, it was really, really good.
It flowed so well.
He's so wise.
Yeah.
He's so wise. He's so sweet. I want to talk about one of the analogies he gave, which obviously you'll hear this again on the podcast, but it's not going to be released for a few weeks. One of the analogies he gave about we all are so worthy, so deserving, inherently worthy. We just pick up limiting beliefs and these subconscious beliefs that we need to get rid of. And EFT tapping really, really helps with that, right? So he gave an analogy that kind of explained this, and it is it Michelangelo, the artist? Okay, the sculptor artist. Yeah. Michelangelo, it's his favorite artist. And he had a quote, Michelangelo, when talking about how he created his art and how he created his sculptures, was saying that the art was already there, right? The art was always there. He just had to get rid of the excess marble and the excess rock.
He had to like chip away at it slowly in order to find all the beauty and the art that was there.
Yeah, that was already there.
Yeah, and Brad was kind of saying that that's like us. Like we're already at baseline. Like our baseline level is all the worthiness and the abundance and the love and the light and all this stuff. And so it's up to us through any modality. He said any modality, but I mean EFT tapping is what he specializes in and believes in, is how you kind of shed the old beliefs.
Get rid of any fear, get rid of any unworthiness, get rid of any beliefs that make you feel like you're not good enough, because that's not true. Like that's a lie. That is false. You just pick that up somewhere and we can get rid of it. And EFT tapping is such an amazing modality to help with that. We talk about it all the time and we have put so many of y'all onto it. And so if you haven't tried it, obviously this is your sign. But yeah, he's a sweet man, and you can manifest anything. Like that's crazy. I started making more TikToks talking about tapping, and he ended up commenting on a few of them, like you're saying. And I was like, this is fake. I was like, this is a fake, like
a bot.
This is a bot.
It's AI.
It's an impersonation of him. But I was like, you know what? Just in case, let me slide in his DMs, see if he'll come on the podcast. And he did. So it's just so. Yeah. And if you're in alignment, things really do come to you a lot easier and a lot quicker. And that's also putting yourself out there. I was like, let me just send him a DM, like just in case. And I sent him on TikTok and on Instagram. Like I was like, and maybe emailed him too. I was like, Brad, come on the podcast. And we got it set up. And it was his birthday.
Yeah.
So Sweet Man spent his birthday with us. And what's really cool is that he did a custom tapping session with us. Like we got a custom tapping session from Brad.
No, we're special.
We're so special to talk. And it was about being delusional. Literally, it's about being delusional and dreaming big and letting yourself dream big, letting yourself expect good things. And something that's really cool for our members, we ended up clipping that tapping session and gave it to our members like this week. So that's an exclusive for our members. So if you don't want to wait until the episode comes out to do a special delusional tapping episode with Brad, then join our community. You'll get exclusive access.
I don't know if I've ever told you guys this, but I'm obsessed with mystical experiences. I've watched so many YouTube videos about them. I've like researched it so much. I'm in Reddit on it. I'm on TikTok in the comments.
Kames wants to meet an alien so bad.
Not even an alien. I want to meet like a blue being. I want to meet a higher dimensional being.
Yeah. Is that an alien? I feel like
I don't know. Like I wouldn't refer to an entity as an alien.
Oh, okay. I feel like I've kind of heard that any type of energy, higher consciousness could also
an alien.
Well, or aliens are also that too.
Well, I'm not trying to meet an alien. I'm trying to meet a specific.
Well, don't block your blessings.
Okay. No blessings blocked. But you guys, I'm obsessed with mystical experiences. And it started after I've been to a couple Dr. Joe Dispenza retreats. And it started after, I think the second one I'd been to, because of the woman next to me, after coming out of a meditation had a mystical experience. And she was describing it to me.
While y'all were there or before?
So no, while we were there.
Oh, okay.
So at his retreats, you guys go into meditations, these like long meditative states, and a lot of people had mystical experiences in the room. But this woman specifically next to me had one. And usually after meditations, you'll talk to the people around you and share your experience. And she shared her experience with me, and it was so beautiful. And you could see the change in her. And I believed it.
Yeah.
I believed it. And I was like, wow, and I'm obsessed with them. So I never really cared about them. Even like the first retreat I'd been to, I never really cared about them. And then now I'm on a mission to have a mystical experience because I think they're really cool and I think they're fun. And I think because I'm so obsessed with them and desperate to have one, I'm putting space between myself and having them. But anyways, all of this to say, one of my friends, she says that she meditates in her closet because obviously when you meditate in your bed, your brain knows that you're trying to go to sleep in your bed. So then oftentimes you'll fall asleep while meditating in your bed.
Not ideal.
It's not ideal. Yeah, I have that. I mean, it happens to me. Sometimes I make it through the whole meditation. It's beautiful. Sometimes I'm in bed and I fall asleep. I miss the window. No big deal because you have multiple opportunities to try again. But she's been telling me she meditates in her closet because it's like dark and she's able to sit in there. And then somebody else told me that they meditate in their closet. And I was like, oh, is this a thing? Maybe I should start meditating in my closet. So I started. I take my pillows in there, my blanket, and I've been meditating in my closet. And I have yet to have a mystical experience, but I think I'm having big energies and I'm having downloads to some extent come through. And I'm really excited. And I think every time I leave the closet, I'm in a different realm.
You quantum leap every time.
Well, I mean, I set the intention. I'm like, I'm going to go into the closet. I'm going to have this meditation. I'm going to have this intention. And when I come out, good things are going to happen. And it did.
Yeah.
I do contract work for this job of mine that I'm obsessed with. It's like one of my dream jobs. And I haven't worked for them in a little bit, in a few months. And I don't know, you start to make up ideas in your head. And I was like, oh, like maybe I haven't worked for them, or because I'm not good enough, or I'm not a good enough nurse, or they don't like me, or whatever. And so last week during our weird node with Kitu and our shift, I was like, no, I don't want to think these thoughts about myself. So I was like, I went into the closet and I did a cord cutting meditation of old limiting beliefs. And I released those negative thoughts I was having about myself in terms of this contract work. And on Monday, I got an email for them inviting me to do a project with them in a couple months.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, like this is either coincidence or I literally shifted energy.
Yeah. It's the second
which
one.
I mean, it is the second one. So so meditating in different spaces is really important. And so for me, that's my mission now I'm trying to do, I mean, I already do kind of long meditations, but I'm trying to just be more intentional with really getting into like the 4D and into the 5D.
Yeah, getting really into it.
Yeah, and like not missing the window.
Totally.
So that's what I'm up to, guys.
The closet has been a very special place. It's helping you quantum leap. It's helping you manifest faster. So, and you know what? That just goes to meditating, you guys, because Kames, you have been meditating, mostly like in your bed or sitting on your bed or whatever, for a long time. And now you're taking it up a notch. Okay. In the closet's taking it up a notch because we're leveling up. Cool. I'm taking it up a notch because now I'm even doing Joe Dispenza meditations.
I've been begging her, you guys, for months. I'm like, I think his meditations are the best. And I might be biased because that's how I learned how to meditate was his meditations.
Right.
So maybe I am biased, but no, his meditations are the best.
They're special. They're magical. Everyone who says that they consistently do his meditations for like a month or something like that consistently get or
they level up in whatever way, whether that's like mentally, physically, whether they're pulling in their manifestations in real life.
Yeah, they always level up. And so I've been consistently doing his meditations too. I have been quantum leaping. So again, there's no coincidences. But if you aren't ready to do Dr. Joe meditations, this is just a reminder that meditation, you guys, is so helpful and so important. And me and Kames constantly are learning about how to level up, constantly are learning how to manifest more and better, and leveling up your mindset. And every which way that you look at it and that we are learning, it all comes back to meditation. Like
everybody great talks about meditation.
Everybody great meditates. That's why we are glowing. It's why we're so beautiful. Or like, no, it's why we keep getting more and more and more beautiful.
Yeah.
And people always tell us that we glow, and it's like, yeah, because we meditate. Yeah. It's changing our energy, and energy is a thing.
One of our friends actually, she went to a psychic, and I guess the psychic was like, your heart chakra, there's a block in there. And so our friend, like, we're always telling her to meditate, and she just hasn't gotten into it yet. So after she saw the psychic and they said that, she was like, okay, like maybe I'll try meditating.
Yeah.
So she went to the park and she just put on like frequency. She, with the intention, it was the heart chakra frequency. And she said she laid down, she she had a mystical experience.
Yeah. She was like, I was seeing colors. I was seeing all this stuff. And we were like, well,
she
damn.
was like, I had a burst of energy. I felt the movement come up. And she was like, I forgot I was at the park. Like, and I was like, well, shit, okay. I was like, see, and that goes to being open and doing your meditation. Like, it's so powerful.
Yeah, meditation is so helpful. And you know what, if the word meditation freaks you out, I was in the course I'm taking, she was talking about this, and if the word meditation freaks you out, if that's a little intimidating, just spend a few minutes deep breathing, observing your thoughts. At the end of the day, we do need to take time to start observing our thoughts, because if you're not observing it, then it's just your thoughts are just running wild in your mind without you having any type of control.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, I really believe that meditation helps you to be able to notice what you're thinking, so then you can redirect. If you start having a negative thought, if you start going down this negative spiral, you can start observing it, redirecting it, noticing it, being like, actually, I don't want to think that. Like, I was like, oh, you're having all these anxious thoughts, you're having all these like negative things about yourself, like going on autopilot. Meditation helps you to start observing your thoughts. It's just observing. Start taking notice and start taking like note of what is going on in your mind, because that's very, very important when you are on this level up journey, because ultimately our thoughts create our reality. You guys, what are you thinking about? And so when you want to consciously start manifesting your wildest dreams, and when you want to start leveling up your life, you need to start thinking about what you actually want to think about. When you want to start thinking about your big delusional goals and being, so sure and like, oh yeah, duh, of course, that's already mine. Heavy on law of assumption, like, yeah, of course my manifestations are mine. And meditation helps you to be able to think about it in that sense of like, oh duh, of course it's mine.
Okay, so if you guys were listening last week, I mentioned this woman named Sarah Landon, who's a channeler, who is my current obsession.
Yeah.
She's not new by any means, but my mom just told me about her, and so I've been deep diving into her. And she also has such a gift. Her life story is really cool. But anyway, she channels these group of entities, and they're called the Council. And
I just think that's so funny.
It is funny.
The Galactic Council.
I know, right? But they have this affirmation that they say, like, if about a money affirmation, essentially,
and they recommend, essentially, right?
They recommend, yeah.
They don't need affirmations, I assume.
Yeah.
The entities
don't need.
They don't need.
No, they don't need the affirmations.
Okay.
This is for us. This is a tool for us that they told us.
Okay.
And so she has this affirmation, and you say, galore, galore, I have everything I need and more. And she says you have to say it a few times. She recommends 3 times out loud, because like the first time you might think of all the things that you do need, and you're like, no, that's not true. I actually need these things.
Yeah.
And the second time you're kind of like, okay, maybe. It softens it up a little bit. And then the third time you're like, hey, actually you're right. I am okay, at least for today.
Yeah.
I am okay for this month, for this year, for X, Y, and Z.
Yeah. And we've learned that saying things out loud, like saying your affirmations out loud, saying what you want to manifest out loud, is exponentially more powerful.
Yeah.
So that goes along with that.
No, it's really good. So,
galore,
galore, I have everything I need and more.
Galore, galore, I have everything I need and more. So we've been saying that.
We've been saying it around the house, and it's really funny.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's true. We have everything we need and more.
Yeah.
And I wonder why I don't know if she has like an interview for why they say galore, galore. I think it's like funny. So I'm like, it's maybe softening a neural pathway in your brain.
Yeah.
I don't know, but maybe there's a specific reason for why they say that.
Right.
But
just say it. Just trust us.
Trust us, guys.
Yeah.
But you should look into her work. She talks about suffering a lot, and she talks about just what it means to live your life and what it means to be in your true purpose and authentic. And yeah, she's very gifted. And the council, when she does channel them, it's love and light. And it brings me a lot of peace, because I know sometimes being in the third dimension and being here right now, it's so chaotic. There's so much bad you can look at, and so much horror and chaos. And it's so, you're just sometimes it's confusing, especially when you are spiritual, and especially when you are on this path of light and universal consciousness and Christ consciousness,
and you just care about other people.
Exactly. And you're like, okay, well, what do you do? It kind of sometimes feels like, okay, what do I do when it's, and I mean, Olivia and I have recorded so many episodes on suffering, and we haven't put out any of them because I don't even think we have the language to like really talk about it. And we want this to be a fun and safe space. So if you're interested in those topics, you should look into Sarah Lynn, and she's really great.
Yeah. And that affirmation, so galore, I have everything I need and more, that also goes to being so grateful for what you have right now.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I think there's a lot of parts to this in my own mind.
Break it down
this
in your
is how
head.
I'm breaking it down.
Okay.
So I have everything I need, right? So it's like, right, okay, true. In this present moment, I do have everything I need. I have air, I have oxygen, I have people around me. So it's kind of like, oh, I'm so grateful for what I have. And then it also goes to like, oh, I have everything I need because it's already mine too. Like the things I want to manifest, my big delusional goals, like those are already mine too, you know, and or maybe that's with the and more part as well. But I think it's a really good affirmation. So everyone try it, and I'm sure it's going to work for you, and you can give us credit for leveling up your life that we took from Sarah Lynn.
I do want to touch on how you said we have everything we need truly right now. And you're talking about air. In the Brad Yates episode, Brad talks about how
this is good.
It's so good. And yeah, that episode, you guys, you really need to tune in because, again, our best interview.
Yeah.
But he gives this analogy like, okay, taking a breath of air. Okay, take in some more air. He's like, do you see how the oxygen wasn't like, oh, you've already taken your stipend of air, you can't inhale more air. The person next to you needs air, you can't have that. He's like, that's kind of how the universe is. If you want something and you ask for it and then you allow yourself to receive it, it'll be given to you. And that reminds me of something Abraham Hicks always says, where she's like, you have millions in escrow. And she's like, you just have to tap into it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's all here. It's all there. It's a choice of whether or not we want to deem ourselves or remember and deem ourselves worthy enough to actually accept it.
To let it in.
Like, are we okay accepting it and being like, yeah, actually, I do want that. It's okay that maybe the person next to me might not make the choice to access it as well right now, but that shouldn't stop me from wanting to access it right now. And I can have these things because I did ask for them, and they are mine because I thought of them, and I thought of them because there was an opportunity for me to have it. It's a possibility, a probability, whatever you want to say. It's out there for me to have it. And so, yeah, all of it ties in together. Everyone's saying the same thing. And so really lock it in, you guys. If you want something, you can have it. The only person from stopping you from getting it is you. And that's why you should listen to us, because we will remind you time and time again, you don't have to stop yourselves.
You don't have to stop yourself and just ask for it. The exercise he kind of explained that with an exercise. He was like, okay, girls, like take a second and take a deep breath. And we're like, okay. And everyone on listening, take a deep breath, right? You take a deep breath in, you let it out. And he's like, see, it's not like the universe was like, here, right the second, I'll give you more oxygen. Like the oxygen was already there. We could always take the time to take a deep breath and take in more oxygen. It's always there. It's just waiting for us to take it. It's waiting for us to ask for it. It's waiting for us to breathe in a little bit deeper, but it's always there. And that, it's heavy on the ask for what you want. Don't let yourself like feel bad because maybe someone else isn't asking for it or whatever. That doesn't mean you have to hold yourself back. That doesn't mean that you have to, play small because other people are playing small. And let yourself dream big. But again, this podcast will remind you every week. There was just one more point that I wanted to discuss, and it kind of actually goes exactly with what we were just talking about, which is there are no limits except the ones that you put on yourself, right? There's no limits in what you are able to manifest, on what you are able to draw into your reality, except the ones you put on yourself. And we've said this quote before, but I love this quote, which is, you will be free when you realize the cage is made of thoughts. The only thing holding you back is your brain, is the limits inside of your mind. And I'm reading a book about neuroscience and manifestation, and he starts it off with something very like jarring, but I've actually been thinking about it a lot. He starts it off literally being like, the universe doesn't give a fuck about you, which I kind of am like, well,
I mean, she is neutral.
She's neutral. Exactly.
She just gives you exactly what you want.
Exactly. And that's what he said. He's like, the universe doesn't give a fuck about you because it doesn't have any fucks to give. It's just always there. And it's just always giving you what it thinks that you want.
Olivia reads page 1 and she's like, oh my God.
Literally, I was like, you know what? Never mind. Let me shut this down. The universe does love me. Which it does. But it's true. Like the universe is neutral and it's giving you what it thinks that you want, which is what you're thinking about, what you're subconsciously asking for. If you're in this program of being like, oh no, I can't ask for much. I suck. No one likes me. The universe is like, okay, sure, here you go. Yeah. Like, here you go. Okay. That's what you're thinking about. So that means that's what you want. So that also goes with this this idea that the universe is always saying yes to whatever you're thinking about, yes to whatever you're, saying, whatever you're putting your attention on, what you're focusing on, whether that's good or bad. The universe is just like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Here you go. And that also goes with this idea. Have we talked about how I have been bullying the universe?
Yeah. She's saying because I talk to the universe very gently. Yeah, I think we talked about our angels, how we talk to our angels. But...
yeah. So it kind of goes with it doesn't give a fuck, or it's neutral, because we heard this idea of you should bully the universe and start demanding it, right? Being like, give me my shit right now.
Yeah.
That we're not waiting around anymore. We're not messing around anymore. And I think that's hilarious. It really resonates with me because I'm like, yeah, universe, give me my fucking stuff right now. I throw some cuss words in there and I'm like, wait, the universe doesn't have an ego. It's not getting offended. Yeah. My angels, my guides, they're not getting offended if I'm being mean or if I'm being demanding, if I'm throwing some cuss words in there. It doesn't have an ego. They're like, oh, she's getting serious. Okay, let's go. I will give it to her. So however, if that resonates with you, bully the universe. If it doesn't resonate, then ask nicely. Both ways work.
You can demand and still be nice.
Totally, you can.
So definitely demand from the universe, and decide what you want and stick with it.
Yes,
stick with it because it's yours.
Yeah,
you just have to persist. I've been seeing a lot of videos on TikTok that's like, the trend is like propaganda I'm not falling for, but it's propaganda I'm not falling for, like manifestation edition. That's the side I'm on, and they're like, I'm not falling for you having to like work hard for your manifestations, or you having to prove that you deserve your manifestations. And I'm like, no, truly, like you just decide what you want and then you get it. But you do need to feel like you're worthy of having it. That's the only thing. That's the I guess that's the work that you would have to put in, is being like, oh, I'm deserving of this. But otherwise, ask for what you want, stick with it, know that it's yours. I will say with the caveat that I think the universe does protect you. And maybe we'll have a whole episode on this, because Olivia and I go back and forth, because we're both just curious about how do you know the difference between persisting versus rejection is redirection.
Yeah, it's an interesting balance.
And I really think it's all based on intuition and what you feel in your gut. We'll definitely have to touch on that, but I guess for the time being, like, decide something is yours and really stick with it, because it is yours and it's an escrow. It's just waiting for you to call it to you.
Yeah, exactly. And just decide that you're on your highest timeline. Like no matter what that looks like, I'm on my highest timeline.
Yeah.
In that goes with rejection is redirection. Even if you don't get what you want for a second, maybe it's delayed, maybe you're not getting it yet, maybe something's better is coming. If you decide that everything is happening for you, then no matter what's happening, you're like, oh, well, this is happening for me. This is happening for me to be on my highest timeline. This is happening for me to get my manifestation, etc. So
we always think about, like, the universe always says yes, but later, or something better.
Yeah.
Or what do we say?
Yes, not yet, or something better.
Okay, yeah. Yes, not yet, something better.
Yeah.
And so I guess listening to your intuition, which I guess we touched on last week a little bit, of just like really leaning in and listening to your thoughts and being like, okay, this little push in that direction, it's real. It's not me just like making something up. Like I'm actually getting a message. I just need to listen to myself.
Yeah. And actually that goes with this idea that we all have guides and angels. Like that's something I've learned, is that we really do. We all have like a team, basically a spirit team that is, I promise you, every single person, you listening, has a spirit team that is looking out for you, that is trying to help you, that is trying to communicate with you. You just have to take a little bit of time to start noticing and to start, I think that goes along with connecting with your intuition. Like start listening to your intuition, start asking for help, start asking for signs even, and you will be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
Because you do have a team.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's all we had to say today.
Well, we're excited because next week we're releasing our M on the Brain episode, and it is so good, you guys.
It's so good.
It's jam-packed with all the science-y reasoning behind why we should be delusional, why we should ask for what we want, and why we should act as if everything is working out for us and believe that we're on the highest timeline, essentially.
Science shows, guys. Science shows. Yeah, it's good to be delusional, okay? Yeah. No one will tell us otherwise.
No.
So we have a actual neuroscientist on M on the Brain next week. So excited about the episode. So definitely tune in. Yeah. And we love you.
We do love you. See you soon.